everybody. Dave Schmidt along with Matt Nestor and the prodigal son is home, producer Tom Warner. You're listening to the Stateline Sports Hour presented by Lincoln Rental and Sales. When it's time to tackle your honey-do list, let Lincoln Rental and Sales help. They rent almost anything.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, the coffee is great today. Today's two special guests as we kind of wrap up our pigskin preview this week.
Finish it all up.
Yep, Guilford football coach Mel Gilfillan will be on in our first break today. He'll wrap up our Nick 10 portion of the pigskin preview, and then we'll go over to the Big Northern West again. Winnebago football coach Mark Helm will be here. And if you want to hear all the pigskin preview interviews that we have, go to StatelineSportsHub.com. How many do we have, 17, 18?
That sounds about right so far, and then we got a couple more to add.
Yeah, and so that'll be good. You can also hear some other things. Emily Trop and Matt have also updated their blogs. We had a pretty good first week. We're looking forward to having better weeks as we go along.
That's right.
So we hope that you guys
especially as football gets going, I imagine, hopefully, people keep checking it out.
2 weeks from now, we'll be talking about high school
that
football.
we will. We'll be talking about week 1.
Because Guilford will play Rockford City Challenge game. We'll talk about that as we get closer to it. They'll be playing Jefferson, and Mark Helm and Winnebago will be taking on Rockford Christian in a big northern crossover game. So lots of stuff going on. They're starting practice.
Yeah, they are in there now.
We have to get both these coaches on pretty fast today. Why? Because they got practice.
They got practice to do.
So probably Coach Gilfillan was glad to do the early one.
Yeah, he was actually. Normally coaches are like, well, can we do it? He's like, no, I'm good on the early one.
Yeah, and Mark Helm says, you got to get me out of there. I got practice at 8. I said, we will do that. So he might be a shorter version of our pigskin preview, but we always appreciate all the coaches for doing it. And we've had a good time with all that. Lots of stuff going on. Beautiful day on the outside as we count down August. Supposed to get in the 90s. That's what we figured would happen.
Oh, yeah. Eventually. It had to happen at some point.
And, when you look back on football, our Jim Morrow over to Harlem says we start school the same day we start practice. That's a disadvantage.
It is.
That's a disadvantage. Those kids have been in school all day, and then you try to get those practices in. He's not going to have problems getting the 3 hours, and he's going to have trouble getting them in.
Right. And getting them to pay attention after they've been in school all day and things like that.
Yeah, so it's interesting how that all works.